We have with us a very special guest, and we want to thank him in advance for being with us. As you know, we talked a lot about the shooting at New Life Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. On Sunday, a young man named Matthew Murray, around 12:30 in the morning, shot up a missionary training center in Arvada, Colorado, with Youth with a Mission, and then 12 hours later showed up at New Life Church in Colorado Springs and attempted to enter the narthex of the church. He shot several people, killed two, and then he was confronted by a security guard, but before he was confronted by the security guard, a man distracted him and charged toward the sound of gunfire and distracted him, got shot, and gave Gene Assam the opportunity to take down Matthew Murray before he could cause any more damage. That was Larry Bourbonnais. He joins us now. Larry, thank you so much for being with us. It's an honor to have you with us.
I appreciate it very much.
You bet. Thanks, Larry. Larry, what we know about you is that you're a 59-year-old Vietnam veteran who was at church that day, apparently in the cafeteria. Why don't you tell us about what happened that morning?
Sure. Well, church had been out about an hour, and we have a cafe, and I'd finished eating, was finishing a Coke, and this tidal wave of humanity started running towards me because behind me are the exit doors. So I knew something was terribly wrong and started running in the opposite direction to find whatever it was that was wrong. And as I started running, somebody yelled, "Shots, shots." So I kept running as fast as I could, yelling, "Where's the shooter?" over and over, and then I realized everyone was gone. I then heard gunfire on the right hallway, so I started down the right hallway and then saw the Grim Reaper. He was dressed in black, and he was heavily armed. So I went over to my left behind a pillar that I thought would provide some form of protection. Saw a security guard to my left with a gun. Of course, I didn't know who he was. I thought he was an off-duty police officer. And he failed to fire back or do anything, so I kept yelling at him to hand me your handgun, and I'll take this guy out.
Was he just watching what was happening? Was he frozen? I mean, was he behind cover? Was he just watching what was going on?
I think he was frozen.
Sure.
I found out later there was another one, and both armed, but I begged for his weapon, and I knew we had to do something because this guy was just on the outside wall of our church playground in the hallway. So the only thing I could think to do at that point was I yelled "coward" as loud as I could and jumped out from behind the pillar, figuring if I attracted his attention, if he fired in my direction, somebody somewhere, and I didn't know Gene was there, so I think that was from God. And our eyes locked with this guy, and I watched him raise his rifle real calm and fired at me, and the bullet fragments hit that pillar that I thought was solid concrete. But unfortunately,
I found it wasn't.
It was hollow, and it was didn't stop anything. But
how far away were you at this point?
I don't know, maybe 60 feet, 70.
Okay. Now he had an AK-47, right?
No.
No.
I would recognize that.
What time? He had some type of rifle, though, right?
It appeared to be some type of assault rifle. It wasn't an M16. It definitely wasn't an AK-47.
Okay.
And so I said, "Give me your handgun." I told him, I said, "I've been hit. Hand me your handgun. I'm going to take them out." I came out again, and there was Jean. And I just found out yesterday. I was walking the area at the church, and she came out of the auditorium. She looked like an angel, and she was. At that point, the guy was firing at her. I counted at least 3 shots. He had run diagonally to a hallway. It's the first hallway. I was at the fourth hallway, side entrances in this big hallway. And she was calling me, just saying, "Surrender, surrender," and firing continuously. She just walked a straight line towards the guy, never stopped firing. And I ran parallel against the wall, came around the corner at the same time she did, and the guy was sliding down onto the floor, and his head went to the right. And I yelled at her, "I said, take a headshot." And she said, "No, I think he's dead." And I said, "Well, I think you're right." And I took his, I think it was a 9mm. This all happened so fast.
Sure, of course.
His hand, he had the casing had jammed, and I'm thinking anyway. And so I cleared that, chambered around, and finally I was armed because somebody was yelling, "There's a second shooter." And at that point, she and I just talked a little bit, and I said, "Why are we so, that's the bravest thing I've ever seen. Why are you so calm?" She said, "I was praying the whole time for the Holy Spirit to direct me."
Wow.
And I really believe, she and I are both followers of Christ, that God definitely intervened and protected us.
God does, Larry. There's no question God does. Now, they're reporting this morning the police are reporting that he killed himself, that he was wounded by Gene, fell to the ground, but he ultimately delivered the fatal wound to himself. Were you aware of that when you were there? Did you see any of that, or did you assume that Gene had taken him down and killed him?
Well, yeah, I assumed. And when I came up to his body, I looked real close for entry wounds. I didn't see anything anywhere on his face. Right. He was bleeding from the back. Mm-hmm. There's back of his head. There's a lot of blood coming out. And I'll tell you, if that's the case, and they've not said where the wound was, I'm a little suspicious. I don't know, but
I actually am too, to be honest. I share your suspicion because I'm wondering if they're trying to take away from what Jean did, that is an armed citizen protecting herself and others, as opposed to implying that, she didn't do it, he did. I'm a little suspicious myself as well.
Well, she didn't say, "Hey, I saw him shoot himself."
Right.
Most men, the side, between the eyes, or in the mouth or chin, and he had none of those wounds. Okay. But the thing is he did. He was the ultimate coward because he knew that she was going to nail him, and he couldn't even, probably handle a woman taking his life. So I don't know, but she didn't tell me she saw that, and there was no splatter on the back of the wall. There was no brain tissue. There was nothing like that. So I don't know, but I'll tell you what, if he hadn't them, she'd have nailed him, and boy, she was the bravest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
And Larry, what do you think the length of time was from when you first realized what was happening until, there was this exchange, you were hit by the fragments, and then Gene took him down?
Boy, I don't know. It wasn't very long, 60 seconds.
Wow.
Larry, if I may ask, just as a matter of curiosity, what was Jean carrying? What was she packing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was a 9mm.
Okay. Because he had 2 handguns and a rifle, correct? That's the reports we received. And he was firing the rifle, but he was also on 2 handguns, according to reports.
Well, he was firing. He definitely was exchanging fire with a 9mm. I took it out of his hand.
Okay. Now, there were also reports that he was decked out in black and some type of military garb. He was wearing Kevlar. What did you see? Was he wearing Kevlar? Was he wearing a helmet? Was he looking like some kind of paramilitary guy?
Yeah, black, like a SWAT team member, but no head covering. He wasn't worried about being identified. I think he knew he was going to die inside that place after he slaughtered those poor girls in the parking lot. Yeah. And I saw their father, and they cut all his clothes off, and he had multiple gunshot wounds.
Wow.
He was screaming in pain.
And they were shot in the parking lot, correct, before he came in?
Yeah, and then he walked in. And he had these little chintzy smoke bombs like you'd get for the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was Kevlar. And he didn't wear a mask. He didn't have a helmet. Just black combat boots, black pants, no camis, black shirt. Okay. And what else? I didn't notice any tattoos or anything, but he had long sleeves. So. Okay.
And Larry, I just wanted to ask real quickly here. How's your injury doing?
Oh, it's laughable. The police made me go to the hospital. They said the fragments would be evidence. They took my shirt, T-shirt, my new leather coat, and I'm going to go down to DA today and try to get that stuff back. They said evidence. I said, well, I didn't need evidence if he's dead.
Yeah, that's right. He's dead. It's pretty evident what he did, and he's dead, right? Hey, Larry, I want to thank you for being with us this morning and taking some time. We got your number through Lowell and Rose. You know who they are, and they emailed me, said that they knew you, and I said we'd love to talk to you, and they arranged it. But thank you for taking time. Thank you for serving us in Vietnam as well, and thank you for what you did on Sunday. That's a very brave and courageous thing, and I'm glad there are people like you around.
Well, when you believe as a Christian, a follower of Christ, if you're dead, you open your eyes in heaven.
There you go.
You don't have the fear, I think, that a non-believer would have.
That's right. And we need to confront evil, and you did that. And a lot of people are safer today and saved because of what you and Gene did. So thanks.
Well, she's a hero, but I appreciate your time.
Well, I hope we get a chance to cross paths sometime. I'd love to shake your hand. I'd be honored.
Well, as would I.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry, very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. You bet.